as I say, we're going to be starting a little differently today from a seated position, and we're going to be doing a breathing exercise that comes from this book. You can see it.
Oh, right, yes.
On a safari. It's a really nice book. It's got some really nice like inquiries, breathing exercises in, quite calming. It's a good one to have on the shelf. So finding your comfortable position, however you are, just begin by allowing the sitting bones to settle down into your cushion, your bolster, whatever you're on. And we are going to be sat for a few minutes, so we're going to start with some moving exercises. So I want you to, we're going to have a bit of an inquiry, really, a bit of a play to begin with. So I'd like you to just, without thinking about it, just raising and lowering your right arm kind of up and down, like this. And then just allowing it to rest wherever it goes beside the body. And then with your other arm, we're going to try doing the same thing but moving with the breath. So as you breathe in and then you feel the arm begin to move up, and taking the breath all the way up to the top with the breath, then waiting for the exhale, and then taking the arm back down to the side again. And do the same thing again. So waiting for the breath in, taking the arm up and over the head. And then waiting for the breath out and taking the arm down beside the body again, and then just allowing the arm to rest there. And close the eyes for a moment, and I want you to feel inside the body, just feel into each of those arms, if there's any difference between that mechanical movement we did to begin with and the moving with the breath that we did on the second arm. So I don't know how it feels for you, but for me, the arm when I move with the breath kind of feels like it's got a bit more energy in it. It's a bit lighter and a bit kind of flowier.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then the other one, all you've done is just kind of wave it up and down. So the second one that we did, that's kind of what we're searching for in a yoga practice, to feel that energetic body moving us rather than this mechanical exercise thing that goes on when we aren't connected with the breath, with the mind. So we're going to continue with just moving the arms to begin with. So starting with your, I think I'm reversed, so it doesn't matter which one I say, to be honest, on this left arm. As you breathe in, taking it up and over the head. And then as you breathe out, taking it back down beside the body again. So one more on that side, and then we're going to go 2 on the other side. So wait for the breath in. Taking the arm up. And then waiting for the breath out. And taking the arm back down. So pause for a moment, waiting for that breath in. We're taking the other arm up now. And as you breathe in, doing that stretch all the way along the side of the body, up the arm, towards the fingertips. Waiting for that breath out. The arm to slowly fall back down to earth. Resting it at the side, and then again, waiting for the breath in. Take the arm up. And then waiting for that breath out. Start to slowly lead the arm down again towards the earth. You're going to leave both arms down by the side. So you can have the arms beside you, you can have them on your legs, on your lap. You can maybe put one hand on top of the other if that feels comfortable. Allowing the shoulders to relax. Maybe have a little sway from side to side to settle into your seated position. So there's one of the main books in yoga is called the Yoga Sutras, Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. And one of these sutras, these threads, these verses that they have, it translates, sorry, I always forget this when I'm doing it. So it's Stiram Sukham Asanam, which translates to yoga should be steady and comfortable. So that's always what we're looking for in our yoga practice. Whatever we're doing, if we're sitting, if we're in a posture, whatever we're doing, we're looking for that stira, that sukham, that steady and comfortable. So that's what we're looking for here. So allow the shoulders to be relaxed, allow the arms, the hands to be relaxed, starting to think about closing the eyes. Just allow the head to be comfortable on top of the spine. So make sure you're not leaning forwards or backwards. You've got that nice straight line all the way up the spine, keeping that curve in the back, that natural curve that we have as it goes in and out. And then begin to let the body, let the mind settle. So without thinking too much about the breath, just allow it to be. Allow it to flow naturally in through the nose and out through the nose. As you breathe in, finding that length in the spine. And as you breathe out, feeling into the base of the movement, down into the ground, the earth below you. You're breathing in, finding length. And as you breathe out, breathing into the earth, into the space beneath you. So I want you to begin by noticing the feelings, the thoughts that may be going through your mind at the moment. And I want you to embrace these feelings, acknowledge them as part of you, as part of what's going on in your head. Notice how they make you feel, how they make your body feel. Notice them without judgment, without analysis, without correcting or trying to solve them. So the key to mindfulness is learning to sit with these feelings that we have, good or bad, whatever they may be, and not giving them a label, not trying to block them or analyze them, not trying to build any kind of story or narrative around them, just sitting with them, just noticing them, just being curious, allowing them to just be. And when we allow these feelings to just do what they want to do, you might begin to notice that without any effort, if we allow these feelings to exist without giving them any weight, any labels, they naturally begin to dissipate, to sink into the background. And you might find that you quite naturally have brought your attention back to the breath, noticing the breath, breathing in and breathing out. So the key is, don't worry if you become distracted or if you become fixated on any thoughts for a few moments. Just notice that you've noticed, that you were conscious of it, and it's that consciousness that we are always trying to aim for. And know that you can always return to the breath, that constant thread that secures and restores us to the present moment. And allow yourself to sit with the breath for a few moments longer. And starting to think about ending this practice, allowing the breath to deepen, allowing the eyes to open before we move into our asana practice. So with your arms down by the side, as you breathe in, we're going to do that sway again as we lift up the left arm with the breath over the head. And as you breathe out this time, just leaning a little further over towards the right. Waiting for the breath in, taking the arm up over the head. And as you breathe out, taking the arm down beside the body, going over to the right arm now. Waiting for that breath in, taking the arm up. Fingertips towards the ceiling. And as you breathe out, taking that lean over towards the left. And then waiting for that breath in to come up. And as you breathe out, taking the arm back down beside the body again. Take your left arm or your left hand and place it on the outside of your right knee, taking your right hand to just behind you. And as you breathe in, taking the spine along, as you breathe out, twisting over towards the right, gazing just in front of that back shoulder. So when we twist from the chest, from our thoracic region, trying not to twist into the neck or the lower back. The next time you breathe in, coming back to the front, And we're swapping those arms around, so taking the opposite hand over to the leg, back hand away. Breathing in to lengthen, breathing out to take that twist over towards the left. We're working with the breath a lot today, as we do in, well, most yoga, definitely all these mindfulness classes. Next time you breathe in, coming back forwards again. And then taking the arms up in front, so fingers pointing in front of you. I'm just going to go on the side so you can see what my arms are doing. As you breathe in, taking the fingers up towards the ceiling. As you breathe out, taking those hands, pointing the fingers down towards the floor. So breathing in, taking the fingers up and breathing out, taking them down towards the floor. So again, doing this with the breath. Allow the breath to lead the movement. Taking them back down towards the floor again. And then taking the fingers out, stretching the arms in front of you. And then we're going to slowly make our way to tabletop position. So moving whatever you're sitting on at the moment, just popping it over to the side. And slowly coming to have your wrists underneath your hands, knees underneath the hips. Spine long, neck long. Remember the neck's an extension of the spine, so we're not lifting it up, we're not hanging it down, keeping everything in alignment, nice and straight. As you breathe in, taking the body forwards just slightly. Just be careful of the wrists here. As you breathe out, taking yourself back. So only continuing this movement, only moving as far as your wrists allow. Don't take it any further. If there's any sort of pressure on the wrists, you can always roll the mat up just to reduce that angle of the wrists a little more. And then coming back to centre, just making sure that everything's under a line before we go into cat-cow. So pushing away the mat with your hands, strong in the shoulders. As you breathe in, dipping the belly, bringing the chest through, head coming forwards. As you breathe out, rounding the spine, pushing with the hands, allowing the shoulder blades to part. Continue that movement as you breathe in, dipping the belly, raising the chest, raising the head. As you breathe out, rounding the back, allowing the head to drop. So continuing this with your own breath. Gonna have a look. Really nice. So going with your own breath, don't rush it. Enjoy each movement, each roll of the spine. And then coming to pause, back into tabletop again. Again, just repositioning, making sure everything is in alignment. So we're going to do our tiger pose now. So lifting just with the leg rather than with the arm and the leg. So with your left leg, on a breath in, taking it back behind you, keeping it in alignment, taking those toes down towards the floor. As you breathe out, taking the knee back to the floor again. So continuing this with the breath, but this time if you want to take the knee a little further, as you breathe out, you can take the knee up towards the nose. So if you're doing this round in the back, just to give yourself some more space. Breathing in, taking the foot back, breathing out, taking the knee up towards the nose. Really engaging those stomach muscles, those shoulders, everything working together. And then the next time you breathe in and the foot is back, taking the toes down onto the earth, toes rolled under, so just stretching that leg behind you. And we're going to start rocking backwards and forwards. So breathing in, taking the leg back, breathing out, taking yourself forwards. Breathing in, take yourself back, breathing out, taking yourself forward. One more time with the breath. And then pausing, stretching that leg behind you. And then take that knee down. So the knees are kind of stepped one further back than the other. And this time we're going to move the left arm. So as you breathe in, taking the arm up over the head. As you breathe out, you're going to thread the arm underneath the armpit of the right hand, taking the head down to the floor. Breathing in, coming up, taking the arm up and over the head. Breathing out, taking the arm through and under. So if this is a little too much on your shoulders, you can just take the arm to wherever it's comfortable. You can even keep it on the hip. Once more. Bring it through and under. So this time as we come down, just pausing there for a moment. Allow the breath to flow into that side of the body, feeling the stretch. Then slowly bringing yourself back up once more and taking the knees in alignment again. So you're going to do the same thing on the other side now. So as you breathe in, taking the right leg out straight, toes pointing towards the floor, and as you breathe out, bending the knee, taking it to the floor or taking it in towards the nose. Breathing in, taking the leg out, just make sure you're not taking it up high, you're not twisting the hips. Breathing out, taking that knee in. And again, moving slowly with the breath, engaging all the muscles. Breathing in, taking that foot down to the floor. And then as you breathe in, to come forwards, and breathe out, stretching that hamstring back. So just rocking backwards and forwards, making sure you're not favouring one side over the other, keeping everything nice and even, moving with that breath. And then just pausing In that back position, stretching the leg behind you, dropping the knee. We're going to do that threading the needle on the other side now. So as you breathe in, taking the arm up and over. As you breathe out, threading underneath the armpit, taking the head down to the floor. Breathing in. Come up. Breathing out. Taking the arm through and under. Just moving with that breath, allowing the breath to guide the speed or lack thereof of the movement. So once more, and then we're going to pause with the arm underneath, with the head on the floor for a few moments, feeling into that twist. Just allowing the body to settle, the breath to settle. And pushing yourself back into tabletop position. Straightening those knees so they're in alignment again, pushing yourself back into child's pose. So arms can be out the front, arms can be beside the body, knees can be wide, knees can be together, whatever feels more comfortable for you. Just allowing that breath into the back of the body. Slowly bringing yourself back up to that tabletop position once more. So we're going to make our way up to standing. So we're going to do it incrementally. So roll the toes underneath you, pushing with the hands, so you're really pushing into the mat, engaging the shoulders. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, lifting those knees a few inches off the mat. As you breathe in, coming back down. So doing the same thing again as you breathe out, lifting the knees off the mat just a few inches, pushing into the ground as you breathe in, taking everything back down again. So this time we're going to take them off as you breathe out, and then as you breathe in, pushing back into the arms, lifting the bottom high, coming into downward dog. The glasses keep falling off. So once you're in downward dog, pedal the legs out, do whatever feels good. Taking a few breaths, making sure that the weight feels even under the hands. Coming to pause, you can have bend in the knee, bend heels off the floor, whatever feels comfortable for you. Make sure that you're not looking at the hands, you're pushing yourself back into that downward dog. And then walking the hands back towards the feet, coming into a forwards fold. So you can have bent knees here, taking the elbows into the opposite hands, allow the head to hang naturally, freely. Little shake from side to side. And as you breathe in, feeling that length through the spine. As you breathe out, feeling that stability in the feet down towards the earth. So letting go with the hands, keeping that bend in the knees as you breathe in, coming all the way up. Hands above you, coming up to stand, hands in prayer. As you breathe out, taking the hands down through the midline to the heart centre in prayer. Just going to put my glasses back on because they fell off.
I'm stiff.
Sorry?
I'm quite stiff today.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry about it. That's good. Just do what you
afterwards.
So from here, we're going to do something called palm tree vinyasa. So we move with the breath. And the idea is that once you get the hang of it, you can do it without being guided through it. You can just kind of get on and do it. So we'll have a go. So to begin with, just dropping the hands down to the floor or to the sides of the body in mountain pose. So feet, just check that your feet are hip distance apart. And they're a bit more than hip distance apart. There we go, toes pointing forwards. So the hands can be that way around, whatever feels comfortable for you. However your body works, I suppose. Nice soft knees, so make sure you're not holding them. As you breathe in, taking the arms up over the head and clasping the hands together. And then you're going to turn the hands so the palms are facing up, if that's good for you. If that's not good, then keep the palms facing down towards the head, or you can even just keep the hands in prayer. So take a few moments, take a few breaths here, feeling that length into the sides of the body. And then as you breathe out, taking the body over towards the right. And as you breathe in, coming back up to the top again. And as you breathe out, taking yourself over to the left. And as you breathe in, coming up to the top, unclasping the hands, taking them down beside the body. And as you breathe in, taking them up once more into prayer and down through the heart center in Anjali Mudra. So that's one half of it, and then we go through to the next half. So it's almost the same. So you breathe in, taking the arms up, clasping the hands and turning them outwards. So try and clasp the hands like one finger different to how you did before, if you can remember. And this time, as you breathe out, you're going to twist the body over to the right. So soft knees, a little bend even as well. Taking yourself over to the right as you breathe in. Coming back to the center as you breathe out, taking yourself over to the left. Breathing in to the center, unclasp the hands. Breathing out to take them down. Breathing in, taking them up, hands in prayer. And breathing out, down into the heart center. So that's it all in all. So you can do that again, or if you want to try your luck with a bit of a balance, taking the feet a little bit wider than hip distance. And then as you breathe in, taking the arms up and coming up onto your toes at the same time. And then clasping the hands, just trying to do it the first way that you did it, if you can remember. As you breathe out, coming onto one side, my feet are really wobbling. As you breathe in, coming up to the top. As you breathe out, coming over to the left. Breathe in to come up. And breathe out, taking the arms down. And as the arms come down, the feet come down at the same time. So standing on the heels of your feet again. Breathing in, taking the hands up, staying flat on the feet, into prayer. As you breathe out, taking the arms down into Anjali Mudra at the heart center. So breathing in, taking the arms up, clasping the hands one along and coming up onto the toes if you want to. So keeping the knees soft as we twist, as you breathe out, coming over to the right. Breathing in, back to the center, breathing out, over to the left. Breathing in, coming back to the center again. Breathing out, unclasping the hands, taking the arms down, coming back down onto the feet. Breathing in, taking the arms up into prayer above the head. Now as you breathe out, taking the arms back down, midline into the heart center, Anjali Mudra. That's twice that we've done it. So how are you feeling about doing it without my guidance, Marilyn?
If I get lost, just shout it out.
All right, we'll do it again. Okay. So we'll start in prayer in Anjali Mudra. So making sure the feet are hip distance or a little bit wider if you want to go onto your tiptoes. I'm not going to go onto my tiptoes this time because my balance is not great today. So breathing in, taking the arms up, clasping the hands away from you. Breathing out, taking yourself over to the right. Breathing in, back to the center. Breathing out, over to the left. Breathing in, coming back up. Breathing out, unclasping the hands, taking them back down. Breathing in, arms up, over the head, hands in prayer. Breathing out, down, through the midline, the heart center. Breathing in, taking the arms up, clasping the fingers, one hand along, up over the head. Breathing out, twisting to the right this time. Breathing in to the front, breathing out over to the other side. Breathing in into the front, unclasping the hands, taking them down as you breathe out. And as you breathe in, taking the arms up into prayer above the head. As you breathe out, down through the midline, through the heart center. How about if this time we do it, I'll do it, but I'll not talk you through it. What do you think?
I'll give it a go.
Let's give it a try. Okay. So starting breathing in. And then just pausing there for a moment with the eyes closed. Just feeling into the feet, into the legs, into the back, into the chest, the arms, the palms as they touch each other, through the whole spine, all the way up to the crown of the head. Just notice, feeling the benefits of that practice, that moving with the breath. So a vinyasa means that we move with the breath. A palm tree vinyasa. And releasing the hands, opening the eyes, coming back to that mountain pose for a moment. Coming to the front of your mat. We can make our way back down onto the floor. So breathing in, taking the arms up and over the head. Breathing out, taking them wide, bending the knees, diving all the way down into a forwards fold. Taking the hands onto the floor. Stepping back with the feet onto the knees. Push back for a moment into child's pose. floor. Bringing yourself up and slowly making your way onto your bottom. So taking your legs as wide as the mat or a little bit wider, and a nice bend in the knees. Hands down beside you, fingers pointing towards the toes, making sure the back is nice and straight. So before we start to move, just feel the comfort into this position. So making whatever adjustments you need. So as you breathe out, you're going to take the knees over towards the left. As you breathe in, coming back up to the top. And as you breathe out, taking the knees over to the opposite side. So going nice and slow with the breath as you breathe in, coming up to the top, and as you breathe out, taking it over to the side. You can do a little bit of a twist as well, taking the body over to the opposite side. Don't feel that it's necessary. You get everything you need just from doing this. Just loosening into those hips, into the spine. And coming back up to center again. Meeting the feet in towards each other and stretching the legs back. We're going to do a very little forwards fold. So you can keep a bend in the knees. In fact, I'd probably encourage it to begin with, taking the toes up towards you. So take the arms underneath the knees and just hug the body in towards the knees. So what you're aiming for is for your chest and thighs to be in contact. So if the knees need to be up here for that to happen, then that's absolutely fine. So once you get here, you can see if you can walk the feet a little further. See if you can get a bit more of a stretch into those legs, but keeping the chest and thighs into contact. So however far you get is all that you need to do. That's absolutely fine. It just, I don't know, it seems to get you a bit further into this forwards fold if you do it this way. I don't know why. It works for me anyway. And once you get to the position that you can't get any further comfortably, you can just allow the head to drop down into the legs, allowing that back to round naturally. You can drop the arms down beside the side, you can hold on to the toes, do whatever you want, or you can continue just hugging the legs. And slowly using the hands to gently unravel yourself as you breathe in. And then just one last stretch to take us the other way after we've done this forwards fold before we go into our relaxation. So taking the hands down to just behind the bottom, rolling the shoulders behind you, sticking that chest out, breathing in, gazing up towards the sky. It's actually very similar to what Donna's doing in this book, and I didn't even realise that. But hey,
I need my glasses.
just opening up the chest, breathing in, a few breaths here. So slowly making your way into your Shavasana position. So you can be lying on your back, on your side. You can even be sitting against a wall if that feels more comfortable. So any warm things that you need,
Fine.
the socks, blankets, and you need to feel comfortable. Just check that you're still with us. Excellent.
I'm fine, yes. Just looking forward to this bit.
Good. Okay, so once you're there, closing the eyes, allowing the body to completely release, completely let go. So just very briefly bringing your mind back to that meditation that we did at the beginning of the practice, and allowing yourself to be conscious of any of these thoughts or emotions that may pop into your head. And again, not giving them any life beyond what they already are. Just notice that they're there. It may be joy, it may be sadness, but you don't need to give it any sort of label. Just allow it to be in the background. So a good visualization that I read about for this is to imagine yourself as the sky, and all these thoughts are just clouds that get blown from one side to the other and eventually out of view without you needing to do anything. Return yourself back to that breath. Breathing into the body, breathing in from the crown of the head. Breathing in, releasing around the jaw and the neck. Releasing around the shoulders, the arms. Releasing from the top of the back, the chest, the stomach, the hips, the legs, down to the toes. And return to the sounds, to the sensation of the breath. Breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the nose. As you are breathing, I want you to repeat in your head these two words. So as you breathe in, thinking just, and as you breathe out, be. You're thinking just, be. It could be I am, or any other two words that resonate to you today. And allowing yourself to just be wherever you are, however you feel today. Allowing yourself to be. Taking these last few moments of the practice to consolidate and feel, embrace everything that you've felt and experienced. and very slowly starting to make some small movements, starting to wiggle the fingers and wriggle the toes. Maybe the breath begins to deepen as your body begins to wake up and feel itself lying on the mat. As your body breathes in, taking the arms up and over the head, stretching the toes for a full body stretch. And next time you breathe out, taking the knees in towards the chest, giving yourself a hug, maybe rocking from side to side, backwards and forwards, whatever feels good, feels necessary. And very slowly rolling yourself onto one side. Just take a pause there before gently pushing yourself up to seated. Taking the hands into prayer at heart centre. Closing the eyes. Taking the attention inwards. One last moment of gratitude for yourself, for giving yourself this time for the practice today. And thank you for joining me.
Thank you. Namaste.